All right, let's try this again, shall we? Okay, so that guy could have gone. I should have let him. Anyway, I forgot to do any of the regular household stuff where I, get food. So I do not have food in the house for breakfast right now, so I'm going out, which I'm not psyched about because that means I'm going to be spending more money than I'd like to. But, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I just kind of wanted to report in. He left yesterday and I was very upset. And after I made my video yesterday, I was able to start focusing on other things. But, it comes back during the day and it continues to make you sad. This morning, I kind of going back to that feeling of having a pit in my stomach and like heartache. But even just by saying heartache, right? I'm observing it, I'm noticing it. I'm having a little bit of difficulty, I feel like. Sorry, that's a bit loud. I'll have to pass. I'm having a little bit of difficulty staying in the seat of consciousness or even really getting there. I'm aware of things, but I don't feel like I'm aware of things, I guess it just takes time and practice. But I gotta meditate more. Thanks, Chris. So, yeah, I've got that feeling in the pit of my stomach and the sadness and everything like that. I'm not sure what else to report on. Just that these things go in cycles. And I also wanted to clear up about E leaving. It's very loud, but I gotta walk past it. So here we go. I've seen comments about him being an adult and him having choices in the culture not really being an issue, but that's not the whole thing. He was very upfront with me from the beginning that we couldn't be together in the long term. And the problem is that we never meant to fall in love. We were friends, and then it was sort of like friends with benefits. But then, we started spending a lot of time together, and we fell for each other. And he was never unclear about the fact that there's a problem with his family and we wouldn't be able to be together because of his mother and how she feels. So I went into it with my eyes open, and both of us kind of were hoping for a way to find a different outcome, and we just wanted to be together. So that is why we stayed together as long as we did. And honestly, the fact that he was willing to lie to his family in such a big way for so long kind of shows how much he wanted to be with me, because that's not something he would normally do. But also, with him moving away, it's not like he just suddenly up and moved away. We had been broken up for at least 2 months. I think it was 3. We hadn't spoken in a couple of months. He got laid off. I found out about that through a friend. And he doesn't really have a support system up here except for me. So he's moving down to New Jersey to be closer to his sister, even though he doesn't really want to go. But that's why it's not like he led me on or something like that. It's just we both were hoping for a different outcome, but we both knew what the situation was going into it. And I've been thinking that's a lot of the reason that when I first started releasing the tension around this whole thing, that it came from my stomach, because that's a fear place. And I think a lot of the relationship I spent in fear of the relationship ending. So that's where the tension is there. But right now, the closure, the stoppage of energy is around my heart. And I just gotta breathe deeply and relax and release. And just allow myself to feel it. Just not run away, not push it away, not try to avoid, not try to change. That's just how it's gonna be. And I gotta accept that. And hopefully soon I'll learn to embrace it. That's really it for now. Just that, you know, there's always a leftover feeling from something emotional, right? Oh, but I don't mean to discount it, but it's not like feelings come and go permanently, and it's not like they don't have after effects, but it's all part of life. It's all part of the human experience, and that's something that we should all be grateful for, and honestly in amazement of, right? It really does hurt though. It really does, thinking that like this is it, we're never, like, he's moved to New Jersey, he's not 45 minutes away, there's no possibility of us hanging out or getting back together at all. But you know what, that doesn't matter. It does, but the thing is, you can't live thinking about the future, right? So telling myself, oh, we're never gonna be back, we're never gonna be together, is useless. Because right now, I don't know what the future holds, and I'm not saying we're gonna get back together. There's much of a chance of that. Who knows? But what I do know is that the only reality we have is the reality that I'm living in right now, right? Reality we're all living in right now. The reality that we're observing in the moment. That's the only reality that actually exists, because the past is past. And I'm gonna press the button here. Wait. Okay. Back. Come on. Back. There we go. The past of the past is the past. And the future, you know, the past is the past, and that's unchangeable, right? It happened. Can't go back. And the future, we don't know. There's nothing about the future that we know for certain. I mean, other than the sun will rise and the sun will set. But even that, I mean, theoretically, a comet could hit the earth. Not that I'm hoping for that. The day is the way I'm feeling. It's very gray and stormy, and I kind of love it. This is the way I want to feel about my emotions. Like, I look up at the sky and it's dark and brooding and dramatic, and I don't know if you can hear that thunder, but it's thunderous and it's raining. Not really hard yet, but there's just this electricity in the air, this drama. Let's see if I can show you guys. I don't know if you can see it. Right? It's this impending cloud. It's very dramatic and very exciting, and I don't know, there's something that's different about a storm, right? There's something that's, if you pay attention and you like it, there's something that comes alive in you in a storm that's different from when the weather's nice. So I kind of like storms. And Michael Singer says, I'm like totally occultist, but that, you know, emotions are like storms, and we should work on, not should, right? The goal is to work towards seeing our emotions in the same way. So when a storm blows through, when you're sad or angry or untrusting or frustrated or whatever the emotion, the strong emotion that you're having, the strong uncomfortable emotion that you're having is, it should be like a storm, right? Where we look and we say, oh, wow, like, look at that sky. It's so dark and gloomy. And it's like kind of like an impending storm is awaiting, and you know, I don't know, there's just an excitement about it. I'd like to be able to describe it a little bit better, but there's just drama and just expectation, honestly, before the storm arrives, right? Well, thank you, Freeman Litchi. I hope I pronounced that right. But that's what I want to see my emotions as, right? I don't want to get caught up in them and identify with them. Same thing with my thoughts. I want to watch them as they come in and they do their thing and then they go, and release them and just enjoy the ride, right? Because if we don't feel the sadness, we can't feel the happiness, because we don't have anything to compare it to, right? You need light, you need dark for there to be light. And you need light for there to be dark. You need a point of comparison. And the extremes of the human experience, one should be grateful for the ability to experience them. And not that this is the extreme of human experience. There are a lot of things that are way more extreme, but I'm grateful that what I've got to deal with is not super extreme, because I'm still learning to deal with difficult emotions, uncomfortable emotions, you know. But I mean, another thing to be grateful for is this going through this breakup has allowed me to learn to deal with those feelings. And when something comes up, like when my mother had a stroke and I had to go down there and take care of her, and, you know, of my siblings, I was the one that sort of, I got caught at the end of her bed for 3 weeks, you know, and spent a lot of time taking care of her. And that, I think, in the past would have made me I would have still done the things I did, but it would have been a lot more stressful, and everybody involved would have been a lot more stressed. Starting to thunder and lightning. So that's something to be grateful for. And as I deal with this, and I don't think about the future, because the future isn't right now, right? The future will take care of itself. I am existing in this moment, and I will exist in this moment. In this moment in the sense of whatever moment is happening, because this moment just passed, right? So that's that moment. But so technically this moment is what I'll exist in, what we should all exist in, and not think about the future, not think about the things that, you know, we'll be missing out on, and when I do think of the future, think of good things, you know, look forward to things, you know, think of different outcomes, such as, you know, moving to England and getting back into acting and traveling and studying and all the things that I love to do. And that can keep me going. Anyway, so per usual, I'm just going to say to you guys, you can always remember that you can always choose to have a grateful day.